Power on. Bluetooth. Auxiliary.
Okay, I'm ready.
Ready? What's good? What's good? What's good, sports world? Welcome to Late Night Sports. I'm your host, Mookie Hawkins, on the ones and twos. Everybody's favorite nephew, man. Come on, DJ Ready Rob in the building. We have the torch. Finally made it through, man. You know, I think it was the snow that was hindering him to get here. But I'm glad that the torch is in the building.
Torch is back.
You know, torch is definitely back, man. So, you know, we got ourselves a great show. You know what I mean? We definitely got ourselves a great show for today.
Definitely.
You know, once again, the Los Angeles Rams are this year's Super Bowl winner. All right, okay. I know we don't get a round of applause for that, but they had their parade today. All right, they had their parade today. They was shirtless, you know what I mean? I guess they was showing off. They, you know, letting everybody know they be in the weight room and all of that good stuff. You know what I mean? They was topless. You know, my man Cooper Krupp was rocking the Fly Kobe jersey. You know what I mean? He had the 8 on the front with the 24 on the back. All right, now we got some things to discuss. You know, topics for the day. Listen, the phone lines are open. If you choose to listen live, you can hit us up at www.power965radio.com, and you can just tap that app and you will be listening in live. Now, if you like what we're talking about and you want to, you know, express yourself, phone lines is open as well at 716-837-1112. You know what to do. We'll be here at your pleasure from 10 to 11. Now, some of the topics that we're going to be talking about, you know, once again, the Rams did win the Super Bowl. Now, can they run it back? Is that the question? All right. You know, we know it's hard to get to a Super Bowl, but can you have the star power? Can you have what's the word that I'm looking for here? The moxie, or are you just that badass that you can just run it back? Yeah, we go with that word. The intestinal fortitude to run this team back. We know how difficult it is to defend your title now. A few teams have done it, but do the Rams have what it takes to run it back? Okay, that's one of the topics that we're going to talk about. Okay, now there are swirling reports out of Cleveland that your boy Kareem Hunt may be a cap casualty. Now, if that's maybe the case, do the Buffalo Bills pull the trigger and bringing a guy of Kareem Hunt's stature, you know, in that building? So you can hit us up and talk about that. And guess what? The Buffalo Sabres is on a winning streak.
For the third time this season.
They're on a winning streak. I mean, should we do a parade for that? Like, you know, do the Sabres should get a parade because they're on a winning streak? No. You know, we don't really talk about that, you know what I mean, enough. Or they don't really do these things enough. But the Sabres are on a winning streak, so we're going to figure out who's responsible for that. And we got my guy Torch that's going to be real in-depth with that because he covers the Buffalo Sabres at every home game. He's there when you're never there. So, you know, that's going to be definitely a question for my guy. All right, so, you know, you can hit us up. We got Legacy Bowl. All right, you know a little bit about your history. We're going to chime in about that. NBA All-Star Weekend is upon us. You know, Absolutely. I guess they played this week. They played today. They play tomorrow. And then afterly they do, I guess they're going to have the draft with Team Durant and Team LeBron. They're going to, you know, draft their players. So we might talk about potential teams on who LeBron probably want to play with and then who, you know, Kevin Durant's going to take. Who will probably be the first pick for those two guys? Hit us up. 716-837-1112. Okay, so we got a great show in store for you. Okay, so Torch.
What's good? Let's get the fire started.
Super Bowl 56. What was your take on that?
Super Bowl 56 was very interesting. To be very honest, in the first half, it was a tale of, you know, trying to get the engines going, seeing, you know, testing each other out. The teams was testing each other. And, you know, the game didn't really open up until, you know, somebody made the first mistake. The first mistake being going forward on 4th and 1. I think the Bengals was a little hungry, trying to be over aggressive a little bit. They smelling some ram meat. It was like, oh, we at midfield. We're going to pounce on them early on the first drive. We're going to do something that they didn't think we was going to do, go for it on 4th and 1. And what happens? The brakes got pumped on them. We know what happened after that. So I'm going to be honest. The first half was very interesting. OBJ definitely opened up, lit it up in the first quarter, making them pay for mistakes, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And the Super Bowl was interesting. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to leave the second half to you, though.
So you think that, Cincinnati was a little too cocky and it kind of cost them down at the end? I mean, they had the aggressive attitude in the beginning, but at the end, I was like scratching my head, like, what the hell are they doing? So, at the end, we talk about defense wins championships, and, Cincinnati defense didn't do enough to stop the Rams offense on that last drive. We always said that, my boys, Matthew Stafford was going to put together that drive, and he put together that drive to, let everybody know why they traded Jared Goff. You got something you got to say?
I want to give a big shout out to you and the torch, the fire starter. You guys predicted it. We all said the Rams, but what did you say? The key reason why you say, because at the end of the day, even though Cincinnati is good, experience is going to prevail in the dead.
Right. We talked about that seasoned experience, not more or less championship experience, but the Rams were recently in the Super Bowl 3 years prior, but a lot of those guys aren't on that team, But the guys who were on that team definitely showed up, but they still have played the game longer than the Cincinnati Bengals stars. When you look at Jamar Chase, you look at T. Higgins, when you look at Joe Burrow, they only been in the NFL for only 2 years. Mixon probably is the veteran guy out of the group, and he's 4 or 5 years in already. Absolutely. But you never had, you never been on this stage. So, I kind of knew that would prevail down the stretch. Just that veteranism out of the Rams, which should outweigh things. And, they just, in the words of the late, great Stuart Scott, the Rams were cooler than the other side of the pillow, man, when it came down to that last drive and getting things done. Shout out to my boy Joe Rand tuning in. La, what's good with you? I see you, girl. And, hey, the Rams took advantage of what Cincinnati didn't do. I mean, come on, that no-look pass was just insane. Now, Stafford has been doing that, but guess what? He's been doing it in Detroit. So who gave a damn about what he was doing in Detroit? But he did it again in the clutch moment. That had to be the play of the game. That kind of pretty much broke everything open for the Rams because that put them in scoring position there. That no-look, how we held that safety by looking at him and having a peripheral vision to see Cooper Kupp, running that short post across that middle to be accurate like that is just, crazy. So to win Super Bowls, you have to do plays like that, in order to win. And, right then and there, you knew that they was going to win. And when that happened, you knew that was just it. The Rams just was going to go down there and just win the game. Everybody was talking about the questionable calls, but come on now. This Cooper Kupp is the offensive player of the year. I know they probably weren't calling that stuff early on in the game, but when the game gets close, when it gets tight, when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, yeah, they're going to call that. Of course they're going to call that. Get your hands off of Cooper Kupp. You're linebacker, you're not going to be able to check the guy one-on-one. Okay, so, at the end of the day, the Rams did what they're supposed to do, and Cincinnati did not do enough. They did have time to get the ball back. Now, what would you think? What bothered you the most on Cincinnati's last drive there?
On Cincinnati's last drive, I thought they was cruising down the street in 6-4s, but the gas must have went out on those 6-4s.
Yeah.
And they just didn't. They looked like they were tired. I'm gonna be honest with you. What you saw the Rams do, which was force feed Cooper Kupp, is the way they should have did with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. They should have been getting them the ball, at least targeting them. What happened? You seen the first play, they got Chase involved. Chase was on the case. He goes down, gets a first down. But after that, I didn't see much of anything else. And then, I'm going to be honest, you got to get a Rams some props. The defense in that third and fourth quarter, lights out.
Right, because when you look at it, they got the ball back off the interception, and I don't even think they got any points out of that.
No, I mean after that T. Higgins face mask, Jalen Ramsey touchdown,
and then they got the interception right after that.
Interception.
Did they get any points? Did they get any points? Did they get a field goal from that or no?
Yes, they
got
did
a field goal,
but
they didn't get any yards per se to like get them in scoring position.
No,
so they got a gimme field goal. They didn't get no touchdown. You know what I mean? But that's defense. The defense easily could have been pissed off at the offense for doing that, and then but they still went out there and they had a job to do too. So they held them to 3 points, and they allowed them to get another, I guess you want to say Fugazi score, because they didn't score another touchdown the rest of the way there.
Mook.
They didn't cross the 50.
I got a question.
Sure.
What happened to Quentin Spain?
We're going to get into that, you know what I mean? Because this is the problem that I have with the Cincinnati Bengals on that last drive. It is 2nd and 1. Okay, I don't know where. I guess it was the pressure that made you just throw the ball deep. You know, they went to Jamar Chase, but they just threw it away.
Yeah.
So 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1.
Not the move.
You got Samaj Pirine out there.
And not Joe Mixon.
How you don't have your dogs out there? See, the Rams won that game because they went with their dogs. They looked around, no Odell Beckham. They looked around, no Tyler Higbee. They looked around, not even Kydell Blanton, the number 2 tight end, was out there. So they were down to just one guy.
Absolutely.
And that guy was Cooper Kupp.
And they forced it.
And they went to their dog. All right? If you're going to know we're going to our dog, you have to stop him. We're not going to hide this any longer. Try to stop this guy. And they went to him. Every time they went to him, he delivered. So what did the Cincinnati Bengals do? They went away from their dogs.
Surely did.
How do you go away from Joe Mixon not even being out there? You're starting running back. Why he's not out there? I don't want to care. I don't want to hear nothing about the type of package and all that stuff that we were in that, Joe Mixon is not a part of at that point in time. It is 3rd and 1. I'm living and dying by the guys who got me there. Joe Mixon was not even on the field for 2nd and 1, for 3rd and 1, or 4th and 1. All right, now mind you, okay, now let's get back to the Rams defense. And we talked about this in the show, weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. The advantage. Who has the advantage? Rams defensive line or Cincinnati's defensive line? And we both said that, hey, Cincinnati's defensive line was no slouch. And they proved that because they shut the Rams' run game completely down. They shut their ground game completely down. Yeah, I know. That was bad, right? I get you, Bill. Shout out to my boy Bill Arias tuning in all the way from Chicago. You know what I mean? Lion Bears in the building. Keith Jackson, I see you running back. Keep it tuned in. We got business tomorrow. But that was just horrible.
Yeah.
It was just horrible how, the Rams was like, okay, knock it off. Let's go sack the quarterback, guys. Let's quit playing. And that's all they did. They just went out. They tied the Super Bowl record for crying out loud. They really could have broke it if they were just playing a little bit too much.
7?
Yeah, it was 7. That tied the Super Bowl record from the 2015 Denver Broncos that Von Miller was a part of. So if you look at this, I don't think Joe Mixon can pull down Joe Mixon with one arm and anchor back to hold him from getting at least a yard, from getting Joe Mixon not to fall forward. Joe Mixon was averaging 5 yards a carry in the Super Bowl, by the way. And he's not out there on the field with you when the game is on the line. Now, Aaron Donald proved to be who he was. He was on that left side, made a move, made the tackle.
Aaron Donald
on the very next play moved over to the right side, went one-on-one with my guy Big Q, and, pretty much washed him away and, made the game-winning tackle. And then guess what? The Rams are off to Disney World.
Well, Aaron Donald snatched Samaje, the commercial where they be like, "Oh, you got to be quicker than that." Yeah, he snatched him back. You got to be quicker than that. Get back here.
Snatchies. That's all he did with him. Snatch. He just went straight snatchies with Samaj Pirine on that 3rd and 1. So bad play calling on the hands of the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm quite sure Coach Zach Taylor had this big bottle of alcohol of his favorite brand just sitting up there scratching his head. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda. So even getting field goal range. Now, you got one of the hottest kickers in the game right now. You're not that far from field goal range.
It wasn't.
I'm thinking, okay, they're going to go 5 wide and just let, Joe Burrow pick a lane and just go forward for the first down like they did in the first half. They did that in the first half. Then go back to that. You don't stick to what works. You know what I mean? That's how it's very important to stick with the script. Stick with your play sheet. Stick to the script, what works. So it's just a hard pill to swallow. It's a tough way to lose a football game. Just blow me out. I'd rather get blew out than to, lose in that fashion sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I lost a few championships by 1 point. I lost a championship back-to-back years by 1 stinking point to the same team. Now, I wasn't on suicide watch. But I was just like, oh, my God, I had so much withdrawal. And, yeah, it did drive me to drink a little bit. And that just made me a little bit more sharper going forward to make sure I have certain plays selected for certain situations. And, it made me a better coach from that.
You have the Amber Alert bracelet?
No Amber Alert bracelets or anything like that. It was just, you're going to go through it. You're going to go through it. But, in the words of OBJ, you have to go through things in order to grow through things. So I went through that, and I grew from it, and that never happened again. I racked off about 3 more straight joints. 3 more straight championships, if you know what I'm talking about. Probably even more. I lost count around here how many championships I do have. But, nevertheless, bad coaching by the Cincinnati Bengals. And, now question. Do the Cincinnati Bengals have what it takes to run it back?
Well, I tell you what, the first thing they need to look at is what they should have looked at. I get it. Jamar Chase was a phenomenal pick at number 5. And they did not take Penei Sewell, who was there, which I ain't heard from him really all year.
He's in Detroit.
Yeah, I know. We ain't heard from him ever again.
Right. You ain't good drafted by Detroit. You're never going to hear from him ever again. You didn't know who Matthew Stafford was until he got traded.
Unless he on stage with Eminem. Maybe you'll hear from him then.
Maybe.
But you need to go and draft offensive line, 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round. Yo, he got sacked 72 times in the season. That is the 3rd most in NFL history.
Made it to the Super Bowl, though.
It made it to the Super Bowl. So that should tell you, if you get knocked down 9, he got up 10, you might want to go fix that problem. That's probably the biggest problem.
Now here's the issue is, he has a sprained right knee.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He has a sprained right knee coming off a left ACL tear to the left knee. So, God forbid he's not going to require surgery. He just need to rest. And obviously he has a lot of time to do that right now. But how do you protect your quarterback?
I got a rebut question.
Sure.
Do you go in the draft or do you go in free agency?
That's a good question. You got to look at, okay, my man Spain did give up the game-winning sack. But Spain is still solid at left guard. They just drafted Jonah Williams about 2 years ago from Alabama on the left side. So the left side is solid. The problem really is the right side. And I think the right side, they dealt with a lot of injuries. So I think those guys were kind of like backups over there with Isaiah Prince and whoever's playing right guard over there. Maybe you want to check your center, right guard, right tackle. It's going to be some solid guys in the draft. I'll be going to the combine in Indianapolis in a couple of weeks. So I'm definitely going to be giving you some insight on what every NFL team, and of course our Buffalo Bills, are going to be eyeballing up there in Indianapolis at that combine. But it's going to be some good stock in free agency as well. And one guy that's loved to go and play with Cincinnati, is your man Gronkowski. What's up with Gronkowski? Like, he got like this love thing for Joe Burrow. Talk about he want to go play with Joe Burrow. Gronkowski, cut that out. How you gonna try to go play with Cincinnati and you don't come home and play with the Bills?
Wait a minute, I heard the rumor about him trying to come back here.
Well,
originally
nationally they're reporting, that he want to go play with Burrow.
Oh,
maybe it's just because of the wave at the point in time. But damn, bro, you don't want to come play with Josh Allen? You want to come play, be with Dawson Knox?
Are we calling this book The Ring Chaser?
No, you can't call him a ring chaser because he's kind of like one of the lords of the rings. He's up in New England. He got rings. He got rings.
What's better than having rings? More rings.
More rings, right? True. I don't know if he's going to chase it.
Maybe you're trying to be
my eyes, Cincinnati don't got enough to run it back. Let me be perfectly clear. Cincinnati ain't got enough to run it back. I know I asked that question. If you want to debate me, hit me up, 716-837-1112. holla at your boy. But in my eyes, they don't have enough to run it back, because if the Bills would have did what they did in 13 seconds, they would have never got out of Highmark Stadium. And we all know who would have been playing in that Super Bowl. But, that's another topic of discussion for another day, another year. The Bills do play the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams next year at SoFi. So we'll get our poor man Super Bowl in 2022 going forward. So, with that being said, make sure you keep it locked and legendary. When we come back, we got more sports stuff to talk about, and we're going to give you an update on what's going on in the sports world. So you are tuned into the WUFO 1080 AM on Power 96. Fizzle. Miss Bussy Bay, what's good? Dude, what you talking about? You love to have Gronk here. I know, but, it's not that attract him here. He's from here. That should be more than enough to track you back. You got to come win one for the whole team. Man.
Brad White said, "Is is that Mookie Hawkins?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Is Devin Singletary a starting running back?"
1080 AM Power 96.5.
Hi, I'm Emanuela Kwamina, and I'm a
He is, but if we didn't bring in Kareem Hunt that we're going to talk about when we come back,
History Month on WUFO Power 96.5 Radio.
Karen Draper is an accomplished writer
Spit this liner out.
and knows the impact of seeing images that mirror yourself in a
I'm going to do this Black History liner. You're going to come with that liner.
With cerebral
And
palsy
then,
as one dozens of awards and remained of the New York
Okay, I'm
Times
gonna follow us on
bestseller
Facebook
for
and
2 years,
Instagram at
recognized
Power
by
96.5
White
and
House
WNY
She
on
was also
Twitter.
the recipient of
You got to, hey, man, we got Chippewa for him. He can create his own party.
And I'm a
You know what I mean? Come on, just take care of business, bro. You got time to party in the off-season.
History Month on WUFO Power 96.5 Radio.
Got a party of 10 coming in. We need to flip those 2 tables. Please, restaurant
All right,
is
so
fully
we're gonna
booked
talk about
tonight after
Kareem
night.
Hunt.
Section 3 is still behind.
Okay,
She no longer
we're gonna
has
talk about
reservations
Sabres.
about finally finding a hostess.
Why
We're
doesn't
gonna talk
23 have
about
menus? Oh, they're in my hand.
Indeed can
Right,
offer
call
her
it now.
radio fast.
I need Indeed.
What you waiting
Indeed
for,
you
Brad?
do.
Call it now.
Instant Match instantly connects you with quality
718-337-1112.
candidates whose resumes on
What you
Indeed
waiting
match
for?
your
NBA
sponsored
All-Star.
job description.
Who do you think will
Visit
be the first pick
Indeed.com/credit
between Ron
and get
Durant?
$75 towards your first
Oh,
sponsored
that's got to
job.
be Stephen
Terms and
Curry.
conditions apply.
Hi, I'm Flo from
Or
the
a starting
Progressive.
five.
Any baseball fanatic like me can
Starting
stress
five.
it. It's not all sports points and touchdowns. So Progressive is going to help you take your mind off your team for a moment. Instead
Yo,
of
man, what's
thinking
up, my
about
guy?
that goal point score, think about the name.
We
your
on
price
break
is.
right now, you know what I
Let
mean?
choose
So,
coverage
we
options
just
based on your
paying a few
budget.
bills.
Unlike your team that missed the end
We'll
zone.
be right back.
Well,
all that
anyway,
good
hope
stuff.
this distraction about Progressive's name your price
In
tool
just
was
a
helpful.
minute.
It sure
Hit
kept
us
me
up.
from thinking about all those penalty balls. Yay, sports!
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Yo, this is Greg Russo. Shout out to the station. Keep it in, day in and day out. Let's get it.
Congratulations, Brad.
Keep tuning in to WUFO for late night sports on Mondays and Wednesdays.
We on 2 different chats. Brad. What's up, Sam Stitcher?
Welcome back, Sports World, to Late Night Sports. Once again, I'm your host, Mookie Hawkins. On the ones and twos, everybody favorite nephew, man. You seen him, you love him, you know him. DJ Reddy Robinson in the building. And, of course, I have Andre the Torch Robinson is in the building. I don't know if he's going to fire start some things today. You know, he has split personality sometimes. But he is the Torch. He is the Torch up in this building.
Right about
You know
that.
what I mean? He is in the building. So,
Don't
you know,
deny it.
it is Black History Month, everybody, at WUFO Mix 1080 AM and Power 96.5 FM. Invite you to celebrate Black History Month, brought to you and sponsored by Buffalo Teachers Federation, Roswell Park Cancer Institution, KeyBank, Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, Afro-American Police Association, Buffalo Science Academy, and Bryan and Stratton College, Bell Self Behavioral Health. Tune in with us on air or online at power965radio.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram at power965WNY, and lock in with us daily as we remember the past, strive in the present, and focus on the future. Torch, what you got?
Oh, yeah. Make sure you also connect with us Liner. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Power965 WNY, and on Twitter, by the way, WUFO Power 965 WNY. Follow us on all major podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all right, at WUFO Power Podcast, and join us in the conversation, And if you're watching right now and you're tuned in right now, whether you're live on Facebook or you're on the Power page or you listening live on the radio, make sure you call us. Bang my line, man. 716-837-1112. We got a lot more sports talk coming up on Late Night Sports. Let's go.
Absolutely. And let's just update you on some scores that's being played across the globe right now in the NBA. The Chicago Bulls has beaten the Sacramento Kings 125-118. My man DeRozan with 38 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds. The San Antonio Spurs knocked off the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road 114-106. The Brooklyn Nets defeated the New York Knicks in the Battle of New York 111-106. My man Julius Randle had 31, but it wasn't enough because Andre Drummond, who was just recently traded there with 11 points and 19 boards to, hold the victory for the Brooklyn Nets.
We can't forget the fact that the Knicks have now blown 3 20-point leads in this month alone.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Knicks, man.
I don't
know what's going on.
Buddy.
Y'all ain't making no moves. Cam Reddish, I guess he ain't good enough. Yeah, I need to figure that one. New York, I think what they missing is they missing D Rose, man. In the words of Fabulous, you ain't Derrick Rose. You ain't Derrick Rose. Seems like they need Derrick Rose out there, man. That's the common denominator. Would you look at this? And I know everybody is ticked off right now because everybody betted Boston to beat the Detroit Pistons. And Boston was at home, by the way. Pistons knocked those boys off 112-111.
Wait a minute. I thought Boston had 9 wins in a row.
Not today. Not today.
Just when you want to give a props. Just when you thought it was safe.
Boston, they caught y'all lacking. Y'all thought y'all was just going to just show them y'all uniforms, and Detroit was going to say, okay, y'all win. Sadiq Bey with 20 points and 11 rebounds to coach Detroit past Boston.
Ain't they the worst team in the Eastern Conference?
They're the worst team in the NBA. All right, now here we go. The Indianapolis Pacers defeat the Washington Wizards 113-108. Tyrese Halliburton with the double-double, 21 points and 14 assists. Your boy Kyle Kuzma had a double-double as well with 26 and 15. The Atlanta Hawks destroys the Orlando Magic 130-109 with your boy Cole Anthony, 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 dimes. And your man Bogdanovich, 23.6 assists and 2 cookies. No scores to report that's still being played as we speak. The Golden State Warriors are up 20-13 versus the Denver Nuggets with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Houston Rockets are up at halftime versus the Phoenix Suns, 67-59. And you want to talk about a team that's super duper high? How about those Memphis Grizzlies are up right now 114-112 with 3:19 to go in the fourth at home. The Toronto Raptors look like they're going to cruise to victory against the Minnesota Timberwolves 99-91 with just under a minute to go in the fourth. And the Los Angeles Lakers has just tipped off as they are remaining a 4-point lead versus the Utah Jazz 15-11 with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Those are your NBA scores. We do have some hockey action. The Florida Panthers defeat the Carolina Hurricanes, two ball-out hockey teams going at each other, 3-12 in the Panthers' favor. The Winnipeg Jets destroyed the Minnesota Wild at home 6-3. The Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights are deadlocked at a crispy 1 apiece, just beginning. And the Calgary Flames are up against the Anaheim Ducks 2 to Krispy Kreme. No glazed in of the first, all right? No upsets really to report in college basketball so far, but we got some great games being played. Baylor is maintaining a 2-point lead versus Texas Tech. Shout out to my boy Davion Warren, who's balling at Texas Tech right now, right here from the hometown. All right, Timon is definitely up in the building representing, and Connecticut is up 62-56 versus Seton Hall. Number 2 Auburn is up by 5, 53-48 versus Vanderbilt right now. We do have a final to report from out of Buffalo. George Mason defeats St. Joe's. And the reason why I'm talking St. Joe's because we have Healthland's own Devontae Gaines, who plays at George Mason. And let's give a stat line. Devontae Gaines, 6.7 rebounds, 3 assists and a steal. He's kind of like a do-it-all kind of guy. And I can say right here, this is probably his lowest number output of the season right now. This guy is a double-double machine. He's a 6'9" sophomore that plays point guard and 2 guard. Be on the lookout for Devontae Gaines, by the way. And that is your updated scores across the globe right now, sports world. So, with that being said, it is NBA All-Star Torch, and we got NBA games being played tomorrow. But then after that, we're having, I guess, the NBA All-Star Draft, right? You got Team LeBron versus Team Durant. What are we doing this? Is it like a flippable coin? You see who gets the first pick here? You know what I mean? We got to flip a coin. Okay. All right. So you're Team Durant. I guess I'm Team LeBron. Or you want to be Team LeBron?
That's fine. It don't matter to me. Let's go.
All right. So
Tails never fails. Let's go.
Tails never fails. Tails it is. So Team Durant gets the first pick. Who is Team Durant selecting with their first overall pick?
I'm staying with the East on this one. As much as I would love to take Stephen Curry, I'm going to take Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah, you definitely got to take Giannis. And obviously, LeBron loves them shooters. So, okay, I get Stephen Curry by default. Next guy.
I'm taking Joel Embiid.
Oh, look at that. You're trying to take all the skyscrapers. You're trying to take all the trees from me. That's pretty interesting. So where do LeBron go after that? You take away Joel Embiid. How about Jokic? Give me Jokic out there. I'm going to take the Joker.
All right, you took the Joker. That's fine. And you know what? That was projected for most of the people that's out there sports analyzing those 6 picks that you just heard. Most people would say so. It's good that we picked them without even knowing that. But I will say the next pick has to be. I gotta go take Damian Lillard. And by the way,
Lillard's not playing.
Why not?
He's out. He's injured.
Oh, boy.
Playing that game. That's what I'm saying.
So I can't get Lillard, man.
It gets real funky after that.
Man, it do get real funky, man.
Super funky.
Do I need to take James Harden? Do I have to take James Harden?
Go ahead.
You know what? Man, I'm going to take James Harden. Let's go with James Harden.
Okay, well, you take him, and guess what? I'm going to take Ja Morant.
John Morant's nice.
I'm going to take Ja Morant. I'm going to take the hottest player in the game right now. You know what I mean? I'm going to take Ja Morant.
All right. Well, you know what? I said I was going to stay with the East for the most part, but on this particular pick, I'm going to pick from the West, okay? We're going to cruise in my 6'4" to go get Klay Thompson, okay? Let's go get
Klay Thompson on an All-Star? I don't think he played enough games to be an All-Star.
Man, he should be an All-Star. Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Since I have, who would I have? I have Bron. Now, mind you, we already got 3 players. Bron.
Mm-hmm.
I have Steph Curry. I had Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm.
How about I go get another shooter from Phoenix? Devin Booker. Let's go.
Oh, you like Devin Booker?
Yeah, we got to have those shooters.
Well, I'm glad this ain't the finals because we all know what would happen if this was the finals. You know what? I'm going to take Trae Young. Why not? You want to take shooters? Let me take shooters. Let's go some shooters. I'm going to go get the ATL shooter.
Yeah, I'm going to take them shooters.
What you know about that?
I'm definitely going to take them shooters. So for my I guess my pick to round out my starting 5. I got Jokic now. He can play center. I got Bron who can play center. How about I go get my boy, AD?
Oh, my God. Really?
Go get my guy.
AD really in the All-Star game this season? Oh, wow. You better off getting Bogdanovich. Let me find out.
I mean, when you look at it, as on a big man who's really, okay, I can say Rudy Gobert. I can't really say him because he hasn't really played. Like, centers haven't really been playing this year. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's been coasting the first half of this NBA season. You know what I mean? That's why Monday I talked about who can make that playoff push who's not a top 8 seed. You know, Lakers was definitely one of those teams. But like, everybody's been pretty much on cruise control. So that's why, I say, hey, I'm going to get my guy. So I'm going to get my guy because it's my team. I'm team I'm getting my guy. So I got myself, which is LeBron. I got Jokic. I got Ja Morant. I got Devin Booker and Steph Curry.
Oh, that's good. Well, you know what? I got to say this guy, because every time you mention him with that hat on, every time you mention him, you always mention him dropping a 30-piece.
Right.
DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan definitely. He would have been my pick, but I said, I would have took him, but then I thought about Devin Booker. But yeah, DeMar DeRozan is definitely. So there you have it. You can write that down. Maybe we're right. Maybe we're not. You know what I mean? Who knows? You know what I mean? But if we are, y'all better put some respect on our names. I'll tell you that. So,
sure.
Be on the lookout. Maybe we might be right. Maybe we might not. But that would be one hell of a starting five if we were to call. If we were to pick the teams, I would love to see those matchups get down. So, okay. So we got NBA out of the way. I think it's going to be a great weekend. It's up in Cleveland. I'm gonna probably do some fanfare. I'm not going to Cleveland because I didn't. They didn't shoot me my credential enough time. So. I'm not going to partake in the festivities up in Cleveland, but I got, Indianapolis to prepare for in just a short few weeks, okay? I will be going up there to the Combine. And one thing I can tell you about Indianapolis, man, it's a beautiful city. Everything is walking distance. I mean, just imagine 2 Chippewas, Buffalo with 2 Chippewas, and you have a football stadium and you have a basketball stadium right around the corner. All right, so, I'm definitely going to try and inquire about an Indiana Pacer game while I'm there because I'll be there for a full week, okay? And one thing I do love about the NFL Combine, man, when all the work is done, I mean, man, the NFL know how to party now. All right, now you got all the reporters, you got all the GMs, you got all the scouts, you got all the football coaches, you got agents, and then obviously you have the players that's going to be there. What you think they're going to do after all the Combine stuff is done? They going on Chippewa. You know what I mean? So now I'm rubbing elbows. Me and Dable had some great conversations a couple of years ago at the draft. You know what I mean? We talked more in depth about family and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, you get a good chance to rub elbows with the people that you meet during the season and, the people that you just meet along the way. And then all of a sudden you run into them during the course of the season. So it's a good networking event, not only just for, going to the Combine and scouting the new up and coming talent, but it's a good networking tool so you can meet all your colleagues and fellow reporters that you see on TV and things of that nature. So I'm very excited to be heading back to Indy. And I know there's still going to be some little COVID stipulations, but nevertheless, at the end of the day, still going to be lit. So I'm very excited to get down there, just the beginning in March. We ain't talking March Madness, but, it's definitely going to be some madness going on up in Indy beginning of March. So what's your take on, the Combine? What you want to see more or less come out of the Combine? Is there an in particular player that you're seeing who's, you think who's going to, elevate their stock?
Well, first and foremost, shout out to Alicia Martinez right now. Shout out to her. She had a question. Her question is, if you or the GM of the Buffalo Bills, who are you taking first in the Combine? Or what are you looking for in the Combine?
I pick 25 is kind of hard. You know what I mean? Like, you really just got to look at the best available player at a need that you need. I mean, obviously the Bills do need a cornerback. And that Kansas City game, if I don't show you 2 years in a row that we need some firepower, we need some speed. So I wouldn't mind entertaining another receiver. I know everybody's saying the D tackle, another edge guy, but if we don't make a splashy trade in free agency or, trade or go and get a guy in free agency at corner, you take the best available guy. In my first mock draft, I got Kyer Elam from out of Florida, 6'2", very rangy, sub 4'4" guy, attacks the ball, has great ball skills. You look at, him playing in the SEC, played against those dynamic Florida receivers and pretty much held those guys in check. I just like the size. I don't like little corners anymore. You know what I mean? It's just too much of size advantage. Like if you're playing up against Mike Evans, it's a disadvantage because you can be there all you want. But, when it comes to a 50-50 ball and I'm 5'9", 5'10", and this guy is 6'5", I have no wins with that. All right, so you got to fight fire with fire, but you got to have that speed element too. Another guy that could potentially slide, D tackle would be Jordan Davis from Georgia. If he slides at 6'6", 330 and, probably runs a 4.9, 4.8, 40, yeah, I'm going to look at that in 25, but I don't think he's going to be available at 25. It's going to be a surplus of defensive linemen within the first round to the second round. It's going to be a plethora of those guys available, so we don't really have to jump out our tree more or less in the first round to go get a D tackle. Even though I know the Bills brass have tried that before in Carolina when they drafted Kawan Short, Vernon Butler, and Starla Tulele in back-to-back seasons. All right, they have done that before. So, but the eyesore still remains is the cornerback position. You have Levi Wallace, who's pretty much going to be gone, leaving Buffalo. He's going to get his bag. You got Tre'Davious White coming off a serious injury. So you really only have two healthy corners. That's Cam Lewis and that's Dane Jackson. All right, so you definitely have to figure out what you're going to do in your secondary. You got two all-pro safeties, so you don't have to worry about that. You have to worry about your cornerback position. You're going to need some extra depth at that linebacker core, and, you're going to need quality depth on the edge. Go back and get Shaq Lawson. He's very cheap now to go get him, a guy who's thrived in your system, know your system, and he has a lot of tread on his tires to rush the passer and set the edge in the run game. Everybody knows that in Shaq Lawson. So go get Shaq Lawson and add to that rotation with Russo, Espinosa, and Boogie Basham, and you'll be fine. But go get you another receiver. Jamison Williams out there from Alabama. You better get him. You better get him before Kansas City get him. I tell you that, because if Kansas City draft Jamison Williams, we better go get us some fast corners. We can't have 4'6", 40 corners checking the cheetah again, thinking that we're going to stop something, because we're not. And then this guy here at 6'2", 200 pounds running 4'3". So you add that to the mix with Mecole Hardman and Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the game right now, and Kansas City going to give us hell again. So I would say cornerback or receiver. If I had an option to choose on which I would select, it'd be those two positions.
Interesting. Let's have some combine fun. You mind having a little combine fun?
Let's have some combine
I like that. But, Mookie is the combine king, y'all. The draft king, man. No pun intended.
Favorite time of the year.
No pun intended. Give me some prospects you're looking for. I mean, I see the list of invites right here for the scouting combine for 2022. Who are you looking for by each position? Now, you mentioned quarterback, so I'm gonna ask you about running back. Mm-hmm. Who are you looking at?
A few running backs. I like Brian Robinson out of Alabama. Mm-hmm. I like Rashard White out of Arizona State. Isaiah Spiller is another guy out of Texas A&M. Those are kind of like the guys that I'm looking at right now. Those are the three. I like the size, man. My common rule is always size and speed. Everybody thrive on the size, but no, give me the size with the speed to match. Give me those Najee Harrises. Give me those Le'Veon Bells, those big guys, 6'1", 220 pounds that runs 4'4", that runs a 4'3". That can catch the football too. Give me those guys. Those big guys that's going to help Josh Allen in pass pro and can stop a linebacker coming in the blitz rather than Devin Singletary, who's 5'8" at best. And, he has, a disadvantage trying to come and block, let's say, a Ray Lewis type of linebacker. So, yeah, you want to be a little bit more stout, with the running back, a little bit more bigger in size. We had those experiences with Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. Let's upgrade the size in our running back core. So Rashard White is definitely a guy that will be available. Isaiah Spiller and Brian Robinson, just to name a few, some of the running backs that I would look at.
All right, tight ends, real quick.
Tight end. Some tight end out of Colorado State that I don't think that's going to be available, in my time where I think the Bills should select. The Bills should start looking at a tight end anywhere between, the third, fourth, fifth round, those meat and potato rounds. Or I think the Bills really go out and address a tight end in free agency. But there's a few tight ends out there. I like Isaiah Likely from out of Coastal Carolina. And I like the tight end out of Colorado State, and I know that he's not going to be there. Visa, what's up, my girl? I see you tuning in. Iowa State. My guy Kolar, and it's another one out there that's coming out.
Chase Allen
too. Yeah, Chase. I like I like those tight ends. I like what they do out of Iowa State. I've been watching Iowa State for a couple of years now, and they can breed some tight ends. So if we can get snatch one of those two guys up, I'll be pretty cool with that. So those are definitely going to be some guys I'm going to be looking at the combine.
Awesome. Good.
All right, so we set on that.
Yeah, we set.
We good. All right. Thank you for testing me out. Just thank you for testing me out. I might test the boy out. But another thing that's going to get guys exposure. We have this Legacy Bowl. We have this Legacy Bowl coming out, and a lot of people who don't know, the history behind the Legacy Bowl. Jackson State turned it down. I don't know if they just too big for their britches now. But they turned it down. And, the HBCU Legacy Bowl was presented by the Black Colleges Football Hall of Fame. It's a postseason all-star game that's showcasing the best NFL draft eligible football players. Okay, it's going to be played this Saturday, all right, February 19th at Yulman Stadium in New Orleans. Okay, and we're going to have Patrick Mahomes is going to be your honorary captain.
Ain't that on Tulane campus?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. Yeah, it might be on Tulane's campus if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be hosting some of the draft eligible HBU players. It's going to be broadcast live by the NFL Network. It's more than a football game. It's a week-long celebration of Black culture and history, and we're providing valuable exposure and opportunity for all HBCU students. Because we got to shed a light on that. When you look at Hall of Famers, you look at Jerry Rice, you look at Walter Payton. It's a few more other guys I know. Art Shell, Willie Lanier. It's a lot of guys that's came from, these HBCUs, Air McNair, out of Alcorn State, So we got a lot of guys that came from these HBCU schools, man. Shannon Sharp out of Savannah State, that can play. I don't know why they don't think that, these guys that go to these HBCU schools can't play the game of football. So, I appreciate the NFL for shedding some light on it finally. Yeah. Yeah, but I still don't like that how it's still segregated in my eyes. Like, you shouldn't have a separate all-star game from, just the black schools, other than, being in the sauce with everybody else. You shouldn't have a HBCU combine instead of just taking the top 50 HBCU draft eligible guys and have them compete in Indianapolis. What's the issue with that? Why still segregated? That's my question. If they're good enough to have a combine, why give them the separate day and a separate time? Jackson State, Savannah State, all these HBCU schools, if you can play, you should be able to play. You should be able to compete with everybody else, because in the NFL, you're going to be playing against them. The Alabamas are going to be playing against the Jackson States in the NFL. So it really shouldn't matter if I can bench press more than XYZ. We're not playing one-on-one. I'm just showcasing my individual skill. So
that is an interesting thought. How can you segregate something that is predominantly black and still be able to segregate it?
Exactly.
I'm not. So please make that make sense.
We got to get that right. NFL, like I said, I appreciate what you're doing and shedding light on it, but I still don't like how you're doing it. They should be able to have the equal opportunity on being invited to Indianapolis like everybody else, so they could be in front of all the GMs and scouts, as they should, instead of, having a Pacific Day for them. And, that's just like saying, okay, Colin Kaepernick working out, who's going? Right? That's what that gives me that feel, because certain scouts wasn't going to be there on that day and this day and things of that nature. But in Indianapolis, like I said before, everybody's there. You have no choice but to be seen on the biggest and brightest stage. So why not give those HBCU schools the same equal opportunity? That's all I'm saying. Don't make it fanfare and another event and to draw money and all that good stuff. Let those guys go out there and compete on the same stage as those guys that you're going to be seeing in Indianapolis. That's all I got to say about that.
Ward, I think you were being a little hard on the Beaver. So was Eddie Haskell, Wally, and Miss Cleaver.
Man, I gotta be hard on that, man.
Yeah.
It's so disrespectful. You know what I mean? You know, they just, to me, they feel that's just disrespectful, man. You're doing it on Black History Month too. You know what I mean? It's just disrespectful. That's all I feel. You know what I mean? Yeah, don't act like y'all doing us a favor by doing what y'all doing. You know what I mean? Like I said, I appreciate it, but it still feels segregated to me. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Certain things though that I might address that in Indy. That might be a question I'm going to ask somebody. You know what I mean? Definitely. I might ask that. Like, why segregate it? Like, why not add 50 more? Why y'all can't just bump it from 330 to even 400?
All right, 400.
You say 400 of the best players, in college football, HBCU or Division I, Division 1A, 2A, whatever. You know what I mean? These are the 400 guys.
Wait a minute, they do take from Division I, Division II, Division III, right?
Yeah, they take from those. You get invited. So I just don't understand why our guys, from these black colleges can't get invited to Indianapolis. I'm gonna get with my guy Jim Trotter. That's what I can't wait to say. I can't wait to see my guy Jim Trotter. Hopefully there'll be the Black Media Luncheon again up there. You know what I mean? Shout out to my guy Scooter Jefferson up in Indy. You know what I mean? I'll be hitting you up real soon. You know what I mean? And hopefully, we can have that lunch again, because what baffled me about that lunch is I'm thinking like, well, damn, no, I'm just jumped up on the scene, and here I am getting invited to the Black Media lunch, like Black Media dinner. So at this dinner, I'm right here with everybody, all the Black Media people that you see on TV, from Jim Trotter to Josina Anderson, to my girl MJ, who's hosting NFL Network Total Access right now. You know what I mean? I'm there with them, just eating lunch right next to me. We just shooting it off, just talking the talk, walking around. My girl Kimberly Martin is doing her thing on ESPN. But the thing about it was only like 30 of us. Out of all the media people that's covering NFL, it was only 30 of us. I mean, a beautiful atmosphere. We was like on the highest skyscraper building in Indianapolis. We overlooking the entire city, just having lunch and having dinner and drinks. You know what I mean? But it was only 30 of us. That was mind-boggling to me. You know what I mean? Like, you figure that all the media people, it was in the entire NFL, it was only 30 of us there at that dinner. And, we all had to stand up and talk a little bit about ourselves, who we represent, and things that we do. Everybody. And that's, I'm like, well, damn, that's such and such and such and such. Oh, that's such and such and such and such. I'm like, well, wow, I'm sitting up here having dinner in my first year with these guys. And, they stress black media, we need more. So that's why I pay it forward to, anything I can do, to help, our guys who have any type of dreams or admirations on being in media here, black media. Come holler at your boy. We pay it forward. We pay it early. We get the team rolling. Just like I'm linked up with my guy from Rise of Family. He's going to be next in line. So, nevertheless, Legacy Bowl. Yeah, they definitely should. But we got the Legacy Bowl. Nevertheless, that's going to celebrate some of the top athletes in HBCU schools. Make sure you tune in and watch that this Saturday, February 19th. All right, you heard? So, oh, we on the clock? We on the clickety, wiggity, for shiggity? All right, okay. Listen up, sports world. My special guest coming up this Sunday, all right? This Sunday, we got my guy Stevie Johnson going to be in the building, all right? And he's going to be having his camp, on Monday, which is President's Day. It's not going to be no school. Make sure you come down and check us out. There's going to be time slotted. You can check the WUFO Sports Report page for all information pertaining to that event. It's only $25, and there different age groups that's going to be slotted throughout the day. Okay, so I'm going to send that on the WUFO Sports Report. That's on Facebook. Make sure you check that out, or you can check out on the Power 96.5 Power page as well. Before we go, we definitely got to hit some football news with our Buffalo Bills. Once again, the biggest question was, if Kareem Hunt was to be released, and right now I'm hearing that he's going to be released due to the fact of DeForest Johnson, the way that he played when Kareem Hunt was hurt, $6 million is more than enough to get rid of the number 2 running back at this point. So Torch, do the Bills go after Kareem Hunt if he was to be released?
Yeah. It's a simple yes. It's that simple.
Do they bypass the baggage? Now, let's remember, he's almost locked up for putting his hands on people. You know what I mean? He ain't been putting his hands on people as of late. Do he fit the culture? You know what I mean? In reference to that, do Coach McDermott look at that and say, we don't want that?
I don't want to hear that.
But, if we're not looking at that as far as just a football player, do we bring Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, you do. And I listen, he's brought in other people who shouldn't fit the culture. Let's not go there. But Kareem Hunt is something that you need. You need a power back. You need a 3-down back. Yes, absolutely. And for those who listening right now, I'm going to say it right now. Somebody on that running back in that running back room is getting tossed if Kareem Hunt comes here. Somebody got to get tossed. My question to you is, who is it?
Well, they will. Obviously, the guy would be Zach Moss, would be the elephant in the room. But guess what? He's still on a contract on a rookie deal, and there's always injury. So, he turns into a quality depth piece at this point. You know what I mean? So, or you try to trade him for, a lower draft pick, whatever the case, if that was to happen. But we're going to see how much of the Ken Dorsey affect the offseason acquisitions and this draft combine, because he did play with a big back out in Miami University by the name of Willis McGahee. Maybe, we're going to see his style of players on what he likes within his offense. You know what I mean? That was Dable's sauce. Now it's a new sauce with Ken Dorsey, and I can't wait to see what he likes as far as player personnel within the offense. So with that being said, man, this is a great show. On behalf of my guy, Andre the Torch Robinson, and your favorite nephew in the building, I'm Mookie Hawkins. Thank you for, tuning in. And before I go, let me just hit you with this. Calling all entrepreneurs, boss chicks, authors, and motivational speakers. Mark your calendars, because March 26, 2022, the Sheila L. Brown Lunch and Learn is back by popular demand. Lunch and Learn will be hosted at Buffalo Club. So if you're looking to learn new skills, develop existing skills, or feel stagnant and need help talking about your business to the next level, or taking that business to the next level, this event is definitely for you. Who better to learn from than CEO and author Sheila L. Brown herself? So come join like-minded entrepreneurs. Tickets for Lunch and Learn will be sold on Eventbrite. For more information, please check us out at SheilaBrown.com or Power96Radio.com. And we out. Wash those hands, by the way.
This moment in Black History is brought to you by Roswell Park Cancer Institute.
Jay